Maybe you could light some incense.
Mm.
That would be nice. First, we're born, squeezed out like toothpaste from the tube. And then we have to go through, before that there's a gestation in the womb, so many troubles. And then we have to grow up, and there's so many difficulties in growing up, and the big kids are teasing us and all this. And then finally we get a little grown up, and then there's the question of marriage and family and all this, and career and so many things. And then finally, even after working so hard, we get old, and we lose the strength in our body becomes ill, and then finally we have to leave this body at the time of death, and we don't know where we're going to go. We're taken by the waves of karma. And, maybe in the next life we'll have human form, but maybe not. There's no guarantee, unless we are devotees of the Lord. If we're devotee, then we can be sure to have at least a human birth in the next life. And actually, according to Vishnu Sahasranam, it says that a devotee of Lord Vasudeva, of Krishna, is never put into an inauspicious condition, either in this life or the next. So even if we don't attain complete salvation, complete liberation in this lifetime, then by the grace of the Lord, we're born in a human body, and we can pick up where we left off in the next life. Arjuna asks this question. He says, well, what if I try this path of self-realization, but I don't get all the way? What if I give up my material advancement to go on the spiritual path, and then something happens and I don't make it? Then I'm nowhere. I haven't got the material advantage, and I haven't got the spiritual perfection either. So Krishna says, don't worry. Whatever you do in this life, you will keep that advancement and begin from that point in the next life. So there's no loss. And there's never any diminution of the results that we get from our devotional service, because all these things are transcendental, eternal. That's the difference. We can work so hard in this life, and we can amass so many opulences or so many results from our work. But then at the time of death, it's all taken away. The saying is, you can't take it with you. But when we work in devotional service, we can take it with us, in the sense that in the next lifetime we're born with so many advantages. I see this in my astrology work all the time. Some people are born with, the saying is a silver spoon in their mouth, right?
Yeah.
They'll have so many Rajayogas from previous lifetimes' pious activities that they don't have to worry about their maintenance or their protection or anything. It's all taken care of.
Mm.
It's like the Lord is saying, okay, you don't have to worry about all these things that other people worry about. You simply do devotional service and keep going from where you began, or where you left off in the last life.
Mm.
So Krishna says in Bhagavad-gītā, he confirms this, that my devotees, even if they don't finish in this lifetime, they're born in a rich mercantile family, or in the family of a devotee, even better. And such a birth is very rare in this life. So by this rare birth, then the devotee takes the advantage, and they can go on and finish their devotional service. For example, in this life, I was born with Mars exalted, and Jupiter in the house of religion. Right? So those are two very powerful blessings, and the two things that mean that any time in this life that I want money, I can very easily get money. There's no problem. There's never been a problem. I never had to look for a job for more than 2-3 days in my whole life, because these things are advantages given by the Lord, specifically for His devotees, for the purpose of freeing their time and energy for devotional service. So now, of course, we have a choice. We have free will. So we can choose to engage in devotional service or not. Krishna doesn't compel us to love him. Well, what kind of love would that be? Of course, Krishna can force anybody to do anything, but that wouldn't be real love. We have to choose to love him. We have to want to love him. And so Krishna always respects the free will of the soul. That means even if we want to misuse these gifts that Krishna gives to us, he'll let us do that. So if you're born in a good situation, or if you have a good, a safe situation where you have some material opulence, or you have some talent, or some material resources, this is Krishna's blessing on you. Use it wisely, and you will gain even more in the next life. But if you use it for simply material enjoyment, then actually you will squander the whole thing. See, there's some parable in the Bible like this, that a father went away and he gave his 3 sons each 10 gold coins, I think. And he said, now you invest this, and when I come back, then we'll see how you do. So one son, he took the money and he went out and gambling and drinking and like that, and he wasted the whole thing. Another son, he said, oh, my father's, he's a hard man. He's really difficult to please, and if he gets angry, it's very bad. So I'll just bury the gold in the backyard, and when he comes back, I'll dig it up and give it back. And so at least I won't lose anything. And the third son, he went out and he got a field, and he engaged some laborers, and he got some seeds, and he grew several crops, and made a big return on that. And then when the father came back, he said, okay, sons, what did you do? And the one said, well, I drank it all away. And he was very angry, and he said, get out of here. I don't want, you're not my son. You're a fool. Just, don't get out of my sight. And the other son, he gave back the 10 gold coins, and he said, I was afraid of being punished, so I didn't do anything, but here's the money back. And the father said, it's not about the money. I wanted to see how your intelligence, how it could be engaged in making more value out of this. So then the third son came and he said, well, I have 50 gold coins because I used these 10 and I turned it into some profit. You see? So is this story about money? No. It's not about the money. It's about how when Krishna gives us some material advantage, that we are to use that to further his service, his purposes. See, he's the Father, and he gives us this material body, he gives us a nice situation in this material world, and then he hides us and watches what we do. I see Krishna as the lion form in Shinga. That's what lions do. They'll hide and they'll watch everybody. They like to do that. So he will hide within the heart, and he won't let you see him, but he'll watch everything. Let's see, what is he going to do with this talent? What is he going to do with this intelligence? What is he going to do with this money, this family situation that I give him? In return, in reciprocation for his past service. See? Is he going to use it for me? To please me? To make further advancement in his service? Or is he going to squander it on material enjoyment? Or is he just going to be afraid to do anything and just hold on to it? See? What kind of intelligence does he have? What kind of sincerity does he have? What kind of attitude? Krishna wants to see us use our intelligence and our initiative especially to find a way to please him. And this isn't difficult. He gives explicit instructions in Bhagavad-gītā. In fact, he gives several levels of instructions. He says, just love me and think of me always, and bow down and worship me with all your heart. That's really what he wants. He wants love. But if you can't do that, then follow the principles of regulated devotional service. Because in that way you will develop the desire to love me. And you see that this love only comes from our desire to have it. So by following these regulative principles, one's desire to love Krishna develops. And then, of course, Krishna reciprocates and gives us that love. But if you can't do that, Krishna says, just work for me. Even if you can't follow these principles, even if you can't do all of these elaborate rituals and chant so many mantras and study and all that, then just give me the results of your work. What that means, practically speaking, is offering the results of your work to the brahmanas and the